Welcome to MojoPlays, and today we're taking a look at the 10 best horror video game bosses of the 2020s so far. Now, these aren't necessarily the scariest or even the hardest horror game bosses, just the 10 that we've found the most iconic of this decade so far.
Before we begin, we publish new content all week long, so be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos.
The Ghost Lady, Fear the Spotlight. The first game from the husband and wife development team Cozy Game Pals and published by Blumhouse Games no less, Fear the Spotlight is an incredible throwback to PS1 era horror games that forgoes combat in favor of terrifying atmosphere, well-designed puzzles, and some relentless enemies that chase you. One of these is present in the second half of the game, who I've come to just call the Ghost Lady. She doesn't actually have a name here, and pursues you throughout a badly lit, claustrophobic house. No thank you. Falk, Signalis. Signalis is a fairly difficult top-down sci-fi horror game with a complicated and esoteric story. Its twin-stick-like combat mechanics come with a bit of a learning curve, especially against the final boss, Falk. This challenging encounter takes place over 6 phases, with story cutscenes interwoven between combat sections, and the eerie music makes this a frankly awesome experience. The PS1 style graphics lend itself well to Falk's borderline angelic design, and taking her out and finishing Signalis is quite the accomplishment. Crow Country. Indie horror is truly alive and well this decade, and we couldn't be happier about it. Crow Country is another classic Resident Evil-inspired survival horror game, where players take control of Mara Forest as she investigates the abandoned theme park, Crow Country. The final boss of the game is also the park's namesake, Edward Crow. He transforms into a grotesque mutant and attacks from the middle of the arena, so you'll have to maneuver around and wait for the best timing to blast him away with gunfire. The Bunker Monster, Amnesia the Bunker. Amnesia the Bunker takes a slightly different approach from previous Amnesia games, but we honestly welcome this change here. This time around, you play as French soldier Henry Clement during World War I. Henry's trapped inside, you guessed it, a bunker, and has to fight his way out while avoiding the terrifying monster throughout the entirety of the game. It's the final and only boss that you'll fight in this game, but it's absolutely terrifying. It relentlessly pursues you, and if the lights are out, it even is more active as it chases you. The game is relatively short, coming in at around 5 hours and a half, but you'll spend the majority of it running away from the monster. Karl Heisenberg, Resident Evil Village.
Don't come back!
The malicious man of many metals is one of the 4 lords from Resident Evil Village, expertly portrayed by Neil Newbon of Baldur's Gate 3 fame. You encounter him a few times throughout the game, as he has his own motivations separate from Mother Miranda's, and his boss fight is one of the most ridiculous and awesome in the whole series.
You're like a goddamn cockroach! You think you can take me on?
He mutates into basically a massive scrap metal monster, and Ethan uses, and yes, I'm very serious here, a mini tank to fight him. It's par for the course in a Resident Evil game for the final third to make a complete 180 to an action game, but this version is easily one of the best. Verdugo, Resident Evil 4.
You're Ramon's lapdog.
It was honestly tough to pick just one of the many iconic bosses from Capcom's remake of Resident Evil 4, but we ended up settling on Verdugo. The right hand of Castellan Ramon Salazar, this powerful monster is also one of the most tense in the game. By some strategic maneuvering, you can technically make it out without killing it, but that precious currency is definitely worth the challenge here.
Is that it?
You'll have to avoid it using QuickTime events, and there are nitrous oxide canisters scattered around the arena to freeze it, giving you an opportunity to deal some massive damage.
Finally, some peace and quiet.
Leviathan, Dead Space. The Dead Space remake is an amazing return to one of the best horror games around, and its Leviathan boss fight is as iconic as the original game. It takes place in zero gravity, giving Isaac the ability to move around freely to dodge and attack this massive alien life form. You want to make sure you don't stop moving, as Leviathan is constantly tossing projectiles at you and attacking with its tentacles. A good strategy is to find some explosive canisters and lob them at the boss for higher damage. Once you do deal enough damage, you'll send it into the deadly vacuum of space. Cynthia Weaver, Alan Wake 2.
I'm here to take it back. The lights are too.
Cynthia Weaver has been around since the first Alan Wake as a slightly eccentric resident of Bright Falls with a strong aversion to the dark. In Alan Wake 2, she makes her return as one of the hardest and creepiest boss fights in the game. As FBI agent Saga Anderson, you encounter Cynthia in the overlap after she's been transformed into a Taken. You'll fight her like most other Taken by first shining your flashlight to make her vulnerable, then blasting away with whatever ammo that you have. She's much tougher and will come at you fast and hard, and has the ability to fly. The Rat King, The Last of Us Part 2. The Last of Us Part 2's The Rat King is the biggest and nastiest version of an infected you'll encounter in either game. As Abby, you'll find this huge amalgamation of bloater, clicker, and stalker inside the hospital. It's important to keep your distance since it can easily kill you in one shot. Once you do deal enough damage, however, it'll split into two entities, the bloater and the stalker, meaning you now have two enemies to run away from. The stalker is invulnerable until the bloater is taken care of first, so do try to conserve your ammo and flamethrower fuel for this fight. Abstract Daddy, Silent Hill 2. Easily the most disturbing boss on this list, and deserving of the top spot here. The Abstract Daddy from the Silent Hill 2 remake is another iconic horror game boss reimagined. The backstory of this boss and Angela's character is certainly heartbreaking, so killing him is all the more satisfying here. The fight itself involves the Abstract Daddy chasing James around tight, dimly lit hallways, while you do your best to get a good angle to shoot him. Then you'll come face to face with the deformed monster, ultimately silencing him for good. The following cutscene is one of the most emotionally raw performances in any game, and we honestly recommend taking some caution before playing this game. So we're only halfway through the 2020s and have already had some of the best horror games in recent memory, and what are some of your favorites? Let us know in the comments.
Oh, be careful what you wish for, Ethan Winters.